All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Dota 2 Game On Invitational. We have an exciting game for you to follow up that Ad Finum game with Power Rangers versus alternate attacks, fighting over who will be going into the grand finals versus Ad Finum. I am Cygnus, your caster for today, and I am joined by the wonderful Danny Lee. Danny Lee, welcome. Thank you so much for casting with me today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, it's been so fun. If we can get similar games to the previous series in this best of 3 series, I am pumped.
Oh, yes. It's gonna
If we can get
be...
the same stuff, it'll be the best.
I couldn't believe that last match, and I'm really hoping we have a really great setup here for alternate attacks and Power Rangers. They have faced off against each other before, and it's always been an explosive game, so I'm certainly going to be anticipating the picks and bans so far, and looks like Power Rangers going to be going straight off for the Bane ban, which is actually fairly uncommon first ban, but knowing that they've done their homework, Team Alternate Attacks really love this hero. It's one of their main supports. Nisha, an excellent Bane player, and pretty much will play this hero like every game if he can get his hands on it.
So, Power Rangers played a best of 3 series today. It was super early in the morning. Is there anything from Power Rangers that sticks out that Team Alternate should actually look out for? Oh god, we're getting a whole bunch of picks here, but is there anything that really sticks out as a team?
I think that Power Rangers really like sort of global strategies, and we are going to see that coming out with the IO. I think it's going to be... I want it to be an IO Tiny because I saw them play IO Tiny in the mid lane and it absolutely destroyed, but it could be like an IO Sven, which I also kind of like, but picking a Sven into a Faceless Void, not a big fan of. So yeah, we're gonna have to see what it's going to be. Team Alternate Attacks have opened up with the Faceless Void, Vengeful Spirit, and certainly Supreme, their mid laner, who will be kind of playing the strategy close to his chest. Pretty much a Faceless Void, indicative that you're going to be probably picking up a ranged carry, but the Vengeful Spirit could be played as a core or could be played as a support, so they're not really revealing much about what their future draft is by banning out that. I mean, because the Chen and the Lone Druid, those are pretty solid bans anyway, so it's one of those things.
Yeah. One hero I actually wanted to point out that's still available in the pool is the Tusk. And we all know how much Alternate Attacks loves to play that Tusk if the hero is still available. So sometime down the line, they're probably going to be picking it up. It's still a great support. I'm honestly surprised as to why the hero has fallen off in terms of popularity. Is there anything that you would say would have made the hero fall out? Because I think he's still a great hero all round.
I think he's still pretty good, but there's other supports that you really are trying to prioritize over a Tusk, and I think that's really... It's not that the hero got worse or anything like that, it's more that the hero isn't as much of a priority as picking up like an Oracle or an Earth Spirit or a Vengeful Spirit or something like that on like that side of things, you know. The position that he fills is usually something that you want to be filling with like a Faceless Void, really strong pick, a Beastmaster, another really strong pick. So it's not really that he's a bad hero, it's just that there are other priorities in the meta at the moment, which is, you know, a lot of really great push. Tusk isn't great at that. He's okay at like doing the roaming ganking thing and can put a lot of pressure on the mid lane, but I don't know. Team Alternate Attacks could pick him up if they really want to. They did ban out the Beastmaster, and they are going to have to try to shut down the Outworld Devourer in the mid lane. So you're not wrong.
We've both seen how explosive an OD can be.
Oh yeah, however, it isn't in the hands of Supreme, who actually ended up playing it last time. But it may mean that he is well equipped to be able to lane against an OD. Now, his best hero, the Invoker, has been banned out along with the Death Prophet, not leaving him a lot of options to be able to go up on the mid lane. Maybe Viper? What do you think about that pick?
If you really wanted to, you can go for a Viper, a pretty strong mid hero to contest the OD. In my honest opinion, I don't really think it's just the mid hero that you need to consider when you're playing up against an OD, but it's also the supporting cast when it comes to dealing with the OD. And in particular, I really like this Earth Spirit pickup just because he has access to long range disable and to silence. And silences are huge up against an OD because it means that he's not going to be able to cast the arcane orbs during the team fight, which is what makes him such an explosive mid hero if you don't contest him. So, like, for me, I'm not too concerned about the mid pick for now, but just picking up this Earth Spirit is huge because, yeah, the Earth Spirit can also help during the laning phase, but later on down the line, like, this Earth Spirit has a greater use in dealing with the OD with silence.
Yeah, most definitely. And not only that, from a range, can really stop the IO from being able to position himself carefully during the team fights and that sort of thing. I do like the Gyrocopter pickup from Power Rangers. Gyro is just such an all-around great hero. He can be played for that fighting role, as we mentioned before, with the Drums of Endurance and the Sanjin Yasha, or he can kind of go for like a more defensive build where he's taking a step back, going towards, you know, stacking the Ancients, going into the jungle with that Helm of the Dominator. So I really like Gyrocopter. I think he's going to be pretty important in this. Not only is he going to be able to also drop like the call down on top of the Faceless Void's Chronosphere, just to kind of help stop all that damage coming out from this Faceless Void and the rest of the team. It's gonna, you know, cause a lot of problems, I think, for maybe for the Faceless, but we'll have to see what happens in the offlane, because it's most likely going to be Gyro and Faceless going off against each other. Supreme has... I should actually like to talk about these bans. So I like Power Rangers getting rid of the Witch Doctor and the Death Prophet. Death Prophet, Witch Doctor, they pair really well with the Venge and the Faceless, and safe bans overall to get rid of that. And what do you think about this Nature's Prophet and the Beastmaster ban coming out of Alternate?
For Team Alternate, it looks like they're trying to get rid of a lot of those strong offlane / pushing heroes, right? Because we explained this before in the previous series, that Beastmaster and Nature's Prophet put a lot of pressure on that safe lane just because they have all the summons to create a buffer between them and the supports. So just getting rid of them means that they might actually have more or less a weaker safe lane than they typically would. They want to make sure that they give them the best chance possible, take away those strong laners, and to make sure that the Vengeful Spirit herself is going to be enough to babysit the safe carry. It will be picked last, so we don't know what it is as of yet, but Team Alternate aTTaX have picked up a Zeus as their 4th hero pickup. He'll do reasonably well versus OD, but he will not win that matchup.
Yeah, it's definitely going to come down to Team AA to just be able to rotate in. And that's precisely, they have a good lineup for that. I mean, Vengeful Spirit, Earth Spirit are going to be able to smoke and try to gank mid. Zeus is going to be able to offer up a lot of harassment on the OD and secure last hits as well with the Arc Lightning. So I do like it, and we have seen Supreme's Zeus. It's pretty powerful. He does like to go for that Aether Lens very early. He likes kind of like the Octarine Refresher sort of deal, so I think it's going to be interesting. The other thing that should be mentioned about Zeus is that he doesn't get as burned out by the Sanity's Eclipse as in comparison to like Agi heroes or Strength heroes, so I think that's a pretty decent mid. We'll see how it goes. Now, Rubik. What do you think?
A lot of spells that Rubik can steal. In particular, the Chronosphere. If you can steal the Chronosphere, it's actually even better for Power Rangers, because all their heroes can capitalize on the Chrono setup.
Absolutely. And, I mean, every single hero is going to have, like, a decent spell that Rubik can steal. You know, Venge has a lot of great ability for Rubik to steal that. Earth Spirit, maybe not as much of a priority, but, you know, could get a little bit of mobility for the Rubik. Zeus... a little bit as well. I don't really like the spells that you can steal from the Zeus, but you are right. 100% Faceless Void is going to be the priority of that Rubik.
If it's not going to be the Faceless Void, I would say Vengeful Spirit would be a secondary target here.
Yeah,
just getting another stun on top of the lift would be great for that Rubik. Just more disable for the OD and Gyrocopter to wail on those enemies. The final 2 bans, though, is going to be the Broodmother for Team Alternate aTTaX, whereas the Power Rangers gets rid of a Clinks. So they're worried about a very, very strong mid-game presence hero such as a Clinks roaming around to shut down their heroes, which... If I thought about Clinks being put into Team Alternate aTTaX's draft, if the Clinks was able to get off the ground with the help of a Faceless Void as they move into the middle portion of the game, it actually would be very scary for Power Rangers.
Definitely.
Clinks does a lot of damage.
Yeah, and Team Alternate aTTaX have run the Clinks before. We have seen that out of Exotic Deer. He plays a very mean Clinks. He prefers that kind of like EG Fear sort of build with like the Desolator with the Solar Crest, super minus armor, that sort of deal. But we are going to see a Morphling coming out for Exotic. I actually am a fan of this pick. I feel like Morphling does very well against OD. I feel like he does well against the Gyrocopter. He has a lot of mobility. Oh. Ooh. When was the last time that you saw a Doom in professional Dota?
It wasn't actually that long ago, but we just don't see that much Doom in general. So just to see it at all, it's an absolute treat. The hero really hasn't changed, so the core mechanics of the Doom is pretty much the same. He still has that great regen, he still has the Doom, he still has really, really bad armor. So considering the lane that this Doom is potentially going to be going into, he can stay in that lane because they've got that extra creep camp, which is great for the Doom. He can devour the creeps and jungle and whatnot. But going into lane against a Vengeful Spirit Morphling is quite scary for the Doom. If he's not careful, he can get picked off by those two just because of how low his starting armor is.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's just going to be... If it's going to be maybe OD, IO... No, they can't have the Gyrocopter by himself.
It could be Wisp Doom going into the off lane. And then you got the extra sustain from the Wisp.
Alright, oh, double TP right away, both splitting off to each side to get those early wards. So let's do our introductions. I will start with the Radiant, and then you can take away on the Dire. So we have Exotic Deer going to be playing the Morphling. Then we have the good old Nisha going to be actually playing the Faceless Void. In the mid lane, we are going to have Supreme going to be playing the Zeus. Then we have Earth Spirit being played by Dash Dash, which I completely forget who that is, so it's going to be Dash Dash. And Robert G9 going to be playing the good old Vengeful Spirit.
Okay, on the side of Power Rangers, on the Dire side, now I believe it's a reborn bug. They are not showing their proper competitive names, so unfortunately we're just going to have to read it as is. We will not be able to remember the names. We won't be able to remember the correct names, unfortunately, as the fights happen. So we'll just read it as is. We got Gyrocopter with, we'll just call him AS. He's got too many symbols for me to actually read. OD's got a full sentence as his name. I don't know what it is, but he'll be called Tanzay. Got Crazy Kid on the Whisk. So Clutch on the Rubik. And finally, we have one more hero to go, and I'm trying to find him. He's actually back in base. It's going to be 3-2-E4 on the Doom.
The battle begins.
I'm sure we're just going to be calling them by their hero names, because there's no way I can pronounce Gyrocopter's name. I don't even know where to start with that. So, Bounty Runes going for both sides. Let's actually take a look at the overall starting items coming out. So, Supreme actually just going to go for that Bottle Rush, has 2 pooled tangos and a Clarity just to keep his last hitting up. And Exotic going for the Wraith. We have a Stout Shield on the off-lane Doom. And actually a full-on Magic Stick going out on the OD. Really well thought out, actually. He's going to be able to pick up a lot of stick charges and make sure that he has like some extra regen in that lane. Oh, top. Scary Kid all by himself with So Clutch. There will be a lift.
Lifted up though. Can they kill him? Oh! Actually, you get first blood in a different lane. It was the Doom that dropped. And we did talk about this problem during the drafting phase, that Doom does start off with crappy armor, quite literally 0.5 physical armor. So you'd actually think he would be much more.
Oh, he's going in again?
Try and go for him. They can't get him. They missed the initiation. I was gonna say though, if you look at the hero, like you'd think he'd be more tanky than he actually is, but
oh
I guess
my goodness,
cosmetics are all for show.
Jailed Gaming Kappa.
Did you?
It's only First Blood, guys, right? It's not that important. No, I'm being very sarcastic. Oh god. Alright, we'll just pretend that never happened. Alright, so OD, 6 charges on the stick. And let's take a look. Doom, yeah, he's just gonna have to like pull back to this creep, pick up the Centaur. But he's not a really happy Doom. That lane is just so hard for him. And Earth Spirit already on top of him. It's like, hey, you want this 2-minute rune?
Oh, can he takes it too. Oh,
Picks it up.
Only Sienna rune. At least it was only an illusion rune. If it was a bounty rune, then it definitely would have hurt the Doom a little bit more. So it wasn't as big of a loss as it could have been.
Yeah.
He'll just go back to his camp and just sort of think out what he's going to do for the rest of the game. Am I going to be eating creeps all day, or will I actually get some bounty runes? Look how annoying the Earth Spirit is. Coming in with the illusions, and he's possibly going to go for a bit of a creep steal. He gets the creep.
Yeah, he
Oh,
gets
no,
the
never mind.
creeps.
No.
No,
I
he
don't think
didn't.
he stole it.
Oh, he's actually going in really deep. This Orb of Venom slowing down the Doom. He has like no movement speed, 255. It's just so deep, and no response really from Power Rangers. Just go walk into the jungle. You're forced out of lane. And
They're trying to kill Nisha.
Oh,
can they kill him though? He's got no time walk. That should be a kill onto this earth, onto the faceless void. They grab him though. Clutch will be losing his life in the process. No, he salves last second. He's gonna die anyway. Oh, that was a wasted salve. If he lived, then it would have definitely been worth it. But no, all for naught. They did get the kill onto Nisha though, so this faceless void is still level 1. It just goes to
he's
show
not
how
having
much pressure.
yeah. When you're going up against a Chai lane with a Gyrocopter IO, it's not going to be an easy lane. It's really just going to be up to Nisha to kind of tuck himself in these trees, try to stay in XP range, which is precisely what he's doing. He's just staying out of vision. But the Doom has been forced completely out of the lane. He's actually just jungling like straight off the bat at level 2. And that means Morphling, the hard carry of the game, is just getting free farm. And I can tell you right now, the farming discipline on Exotic Deer is off the charts. He has some of the highest GPM in this series, or in this tournament so far, and you really do not want him to be solo farming.
If you compare the two scenarios though between the off lanes, the Doom ends up getting the better end of the stick. Because at least he has potential to jungle, because the same can't be said for a Faceless Void.
This is very true.
Hero, oh yeah, if Faceless Void gets behind, he has
one bash
for error when he gets it! Oh, so clutch! Oh, and they finally finish him up with Supreme as well. That bash, though, he may have jinxed it, but that's gonna end the life of that poor Rubik.
10%, guys. 10% luck, 10% determination. That poor Rubik.
His bottom tower is under attack.
I think he picked the wrong name.
Don't worry, I'm sure there'll be some crazy chrono steals later on in the game. I have faith. Oh, Nisha just stopping that little pull out towards the double pull. So it's actually going to force the lane to push into Faceless Void, which he really actually desperately needs that. And looks like Doom
Dancing
at a
down
distance, just, dancing with that little tornado. Getting the XP, a little bit of farm, harassing.
Not really much that he can do, but to get the tornado, at least it means he can actually do something down that bottom lane. Just prevent them from really pushing down that T1 tower.
He's doing his best of a bad situation.
He doesn't have that much mana to work with though, so he's got to be a little bit more careful when they do come into the tower. And it looks like up top though, they're going to try and jump onto Nisha again. This time it's only 2 of them. The rocket connects and Nisha is going to be hit. Oh my god, that kick from the Earth Spirit made time. Now Robert's going to come in. They're going to kill up the giant.
Oh!
A crazy kid is going to drop as well. No, he TP's out. There was no vision. Oh, that was a very clear situation to be in. They just didn't get lucky with some of those rocket barrages, as there were a couple of radiant creeps there to soak up some of the damage. Nisha. So lucky.
Yeah, that level 6, Zeus actually ends up taking out the Gyrocopter, who's sitting at 2nd place with 35 last hits. That's a big kill for him.
Wow, what a 10 of events.
Oh, the lift.
Super happy. They get the kick on the clutch, but the OD's coming in. Well, they get the bouncy onto Supreme, but he's losing a lot of HP, and instead they're gonna just hit off onto the
IO.
Spirit. And they can't kill him. They don't have the disable. It's just a little bit too quick for them, unless OD commits one more hit. Oh,
very nicely done.
Didn't think they were gonna be able to get that OD much quicker than I anticipated.
It was just the IO movement speed. You were right. If he was just on his own, the Earth would have definitely been able to escape, but it was just that little boost of movement speed was just enough to kind of tip him over.
Very, very happy OD with that kill. There's a double damage rune actually down the bottom portion of the river, and someone can definitely capitalize on that rune if they really wanted to. Earth Spirit will scout it out, so I'm wondering if they're going to save this for somebody to use to try and go for kills. Sit on it for now. I guess they're going to give this to the Zeus. Just give him that bottle sustain. Like Supreme, we heading down there at least. Game slowed down a little bit. Not OD. Doom is back in this bottom lane, and he might get knocked on again. Oh dear. Just when you thought it was safe. And God, Supreme comes in with the Zeus ult as well to make sure he secures that kill.
So 202. Oh, is there something happening? Oh no, there isn't. Okay, never mind. I was like certain there was something happening top. I saw a whole bunch of people grouped up and no Nisha anywhere, but he's just in the off lane doing the jungle camp.
4.
Right.
Not a happy Void.
So Exotic Deer leading the charge with about 3,500 overall net worth. It's 7 minutes in. There's going to be a tornado, but what are you really going to do as this Doom? I mean, yeah, you're getting a little bit of harassment off, but...
Oh, they know where he is. They could jump
there
on
it comes.
Him. They get the kick. Looks like they don't want to jump. There's no creeps there, unfortunately.
It's a fairly decent play by Doom, though. I mean, he just keeps kind of pushing them off the tower, so they aren't securing it as fast. Oh! Okay, Supreme's just gonna get the D-ward. And that secures him level 8. That 100 experience that you get from D-warding now is just so powerful. Oh, bottom?
There was a stun down bottom, but they immediately backed out the moment they saw the OD TP. So, no kill onto Doom, but it did force a pretty big TP into that bottom lane. And OD TP bot, but he's still heading mid. Bit of time that the OD is going to be wasting. Solo kill onto Supreme as well, getting the kill onto the Wisp. OD, unfortunately, not going to be there to back up as he TP down to that bottom lane. Very good kill for Supreme to actually get that solo kill on the Wisp.
Yeah, exactly.
If you look at the Zeus, right, he's got a lot of gold in his pockets, like 1.5k gold,
maybe
and it's only
fast
9 minutes in.
Blink Dagger? Like, would you go first item Blink Dagger? I think maybe it's going to be an Aether Lens.
I would say Aether Lens, like he needs the sustain as well as the range, and obviously every bit of extra damage from the Aether Lens counts as well. If he really feels like he needs the repositioning tool, the repositioning Blink Dagger this early, then yeah, he could go for it. But he definitely wants that extra range from the Aether Lens to, at least he can do his thing from a safe distance. Pull down from Nisha, or call down onto Nisha on the top lane. This mitigates all the damage at the time walk, and here comes TPs. It could be a sad day for the Gyro, gets caught out with the rolling, or the roll. And that's going to be the end as Gyro getting a little bit too overconfident in the top lane. He got a couple of kills and felt too safe up there.
Yeah, he just went in a little bit too deep. I guess he's just getting a little bit ballsy with the IO, just backing him up. But the problem is that Earth is everywhere where you do not want him to be. He's just right place, right time, all the time. And not only that, ATN are making these rotations look so easy. They just always have teleports available. Zeus was on top of that as well. And I feel like that might be a little bit of a weakness of PR, is that they're not really rotating. Oh, Nisha! Getting lifted.
Can't die. He's got 6 though. Is he thinking about popping a chrono? There's no point though. He doesn't have solo kill potential. Never mind Supreme. I don't think they can kill anyone even with Supreme though.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna let the rocket hit him. There you go.
He'll just time walk all the damage off. Oh. Didn't time walk any of that off.
Yeah, it's I think it's is it a 2-second stun? Yeah. It's right on that. If he time walks into, I think if he time walks into the rocket, it will stop the damage.
I'd actually be interested.
Oh, there it is!
No, Gyro, he just came back! He didn't actually get caught in the chrono, but even if he did get caught, I don't think he had any real way of backing out anyway.
And denied.
Decision to bring Exotic Deer in the top lane as well. Are they going to transition to their own push?
I don't think so. The call down brought everyone pretty low, so I think that was just a rotation just to kind of say, like, it's like mind games. It's like you establish a pattern, you know? It's like, if you push a tower, we will always rotate. We will even rotate our carrion, and we will try to get a kill. We will try to take you out. And so it kind of gets PR ready that if they want to push a tower, they have to be with the entire team. There's not going to be 2 people pushing a tower. It has to be 4 people pushing a tower. And so I really do like those plays from ATN. They have really great synergy so far. Yeah, it is going to be a Blink Dagger. I wasn't sure. I kind of wanted, like, maybe Aether Lens just because it's just so much value that you get out of it. But when you're this far ahead, like, 12-minute Blink Dagger is amazing.
It actually gives Supreme a lot of solo kill potential now. Like, typically Zeus has a lot of issues when it comes to chasing targets, but now he just sort of blinks in front of the target and he's in a better spot to really chase it down. Like, Aether Lens would have been a great item pickup, but because he was able to accumulate so much gold, but I would say, like, if you can accumulate enough gold to buy a Blank Dagger, why not? Like, it just saves you from buying it later on down the road. Also, solo kill onto the Doom. Well, it wasn't a solo kill, that was with support, but still, a kill's a kill, and it's going in the way of the Morphling, which, for Exotic Deer, like, he's already sitting on a whole pile of money. 2.4k. I'm curious to know if it's going to be the standard Morphling build nowadays, whether it's going to be the Helm of the Dominator, or if it's going to be the old school Morphling where it goes for either Lincolns or E-Blade first.
He is going to go for the Lincolns. It's a good Lincolns game. There's also the Ultimate Orb already out on the Courier. Oh, Io ends up falling. Meanwhile, Call Down up top. It looks like the Earth Spirit will end up falling, but Supreme will get the Mega Kill streak. Supreme already 5-0. OD is forced to retreat. But as mentioned, I feel like Lincoln's is definitely the best choice on this Morphling. Not only because the Doom pick is really more for anyone. It's for the Morphling. I mean, Doom pretty good on Zeus, yeah. Decent on the Venge, but you're not going to be going on her really as the main Doom target. Faceless Void, he can probably, like, walk it off, honestly. He's, like, tanky enough for it. It's the Morphling you really want to be dooming.
I can see that, but the thing is that Morphling, firstly, hasn't really been going into team fights. Looks like he is going to go for Lincoln Sphere anyway, so I won't even bother going into any sort of different path. Unless he's going to go for something else again to throw me off. He knows he might be going for Scotty.
For like a Scotty? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sometimes they do that. It's like, bye! Oh, never mind. He's got the bottle.
The other thing is, and it should be mentioned, with Doom, he no longer has his level death. It's now it's like the Infernal Blade, which means that he has no way of popping the Lincolns. So he has to rely on a support to pop the Lincolns and then place the Doom out. Like, it's just gonna be kind of harder. The other thing is that with the Lincolns as well, Morphling, if he really wants to, he can place it on who he thinks the target is going to be. Oh, this could be good though. Waveform.
Oh, waveforms into clutch. They're even going to relocate them all in, so Doom is there. He can still morph strength though. Can actually finish him off in time. The mini swap's going to be there from Robin, actually keeping Exotic Deer alive, turning the fight completely. Can they at least get a kill? They got one. Can they get two? They need a consolation prize. They finish him off with Crusader Blast on the Doom. And they actually get a third kill as well. Zeus, in the meantime, losing his own life to the OD. And when all that's said and done, would you say that was actually a win for Power Rangers?
Absolutely, 100%.
A lot of other heroes. Oh dear.
Yeah, that was 100% worth it. You used the Sanity's Eclipse, you got the, 5 streak that was on the Zeus. Now, here's my question to you. Who scales better into the late game? Is it going to be Exotic with the Morphling, or do you feel that like a 6-slotted Gyrocopter is going to be way better? I personally feel that straight up in a fight, it's going to be the Gyro just because of the flat cannon as well as the ability to just, dish out so much damage. I wonder if they're going to try to... Okay, no, there's no follow-up. I was wondering if they were going to try to use this Morphling illusion to just, like, bait out maybe an engagement. Oh? Doom?
Into Exotic Deer. There's no Doom on him, though, so he's just going to hit Exotic Deer. Oh, Zeus is... Okay, this is when the Doom's thinking, well, I'm in a really bad spot. He just walks it off.
Run away. The Tranquil Boots are pretty decent for that. Also, should mention...
Like he doesn't like his jungle.
That there's some good ancient and economies coming out of the PR team. And just looks like Gyro continuing to... Yeah, he's going actually straight for BKB. What do you think about this choice?
Typically in a situation where, as a Gyrocopter and you're going straight for BKB, this is a fighting Gyrocopter build. It's a defensive item, but it's to make sure that the Gyrocopter is going to be able to survive for as long as possible while doing the maximum amount of damage that he's going to be capable of doing. My issue with this, though, is Chronosphere doesn't really care about BKB. So if ATN actually sees a BKB pickup on the Gyrocopter when it's done, they could potentially just use the Chronosphere to lock the Gyro in place with the Wisp, and then just finish off the rest of Power Rangers, because like most situations you pick up BKB to avoid every single disable in the game. Well, aTN still has one, so at least the best thing here for the gyro is that he knows if he is locked in the chrono and he's got the BKB popped, that it's not going to be Supreme to burst him down on the Zeus. It's not going to be the Magnetize coming out from the Earth Spirit. It has to be 100% Morphling right clicks as well as Faceless Void right clicks to take him down.
Yeah, it's very true. I'm not really completely sold on the HOD right into BKB. I feel like a Sanjin Yasha would give a little bit better, better stats, better attack, more damage, the movement speed that he really wants during these engagements. And my other problem with BKB is that it's really something that gives you diminishing returns. You're going to use it once, you're going to get a 10-second BKB at like, what, 20 minutes? And then what? You have a 5-second BKB at, 30, and everyone on ATN is super farmed. Zeus can just wait out your BKB, so can the Venge, that sort of thing. So I'm not sure if that's the right choice.
We'll see if it does work out for the Gyrocopter in the end, though. It just depends on when he decides to use that BKB. Obviously, that's going to be a major factor in where his positioning is when he pops a BKB and how the fight goes. Like, ATN, I also forgot to mention, they can also use swap on the gyro, even through BKB, so...
Oh, Atos? So, yeah, no.
Looks like they don't want to chase after Supreme. They don't know where some of the supports are, so they're probably thinking that they could be backup for Supreme up there.
Yeah. Pretty risky play, actually. If they had opted to go for Supreme, he would have definitely died there.
Absolutely.
Alright, so Tier 1 going to be dismantled with the help of the Gyrocopter, but Supreme is ready. He does have the Blink Dagger, which is going to be able to put a little bit of space between him and the Gyrocopter, and of course this rocket. No need, though, because there is no ability for them to commit. And Tier 2 at the top, just being destroyed by Nisha and the rest of the crew. Supreme is invisible.
Actually have the OD as well as the Rubik hiding under the cover of a smoke moving into that top lane. So it looks like they want to try and make a play happen, but everyone on the side of ATN
there it is.
Pretty much... They've actually got a couple of TPs coming out. Nisha's probably going to drop here. He's already doomed, so he drops. And they found Exotic Deer. Can actually kill off this Morphling. It'll be a huge kill if they do. He's trying to morph up strength. He's going to try and wait while he gets onto the low ground. They can't chase this Morphling. He's too elusive. They lose the Wisp in the meantime in that mid lane. And we've got support coming in to help out the Morphling, but he's already home free. If the Morphling didn't go to the low ground, he would have definitely died on that cliff edge there.
Definitely. That Morphling, he did a really great job. He managed to get the strength morph just in time and gave himself a little bit of that extra XP. And of course, maxing it is the absolute right choice. Oh, look at this. Earth Spirit going in, uses the Magnetize, gonna steal the bounty, and he's like, hey, you're gonna go this way, but I don't think there's really much that this Earth Spirit can do. Oh, maybe he can get lucky. Oh!
No, the Wisp is going to be there. If he didn't have the Wisp, that would have actually been a kill onto the Gyrocopter. Did waste the Zeus's ult, unfortunately, so Supreme's not going to have access to that for the next 80 seconds. That was very, very close. If their Wisp, as I said, if Crazy Kid wasn't there, that would have been the death of the Gyro. And it would have been very good coordination between both Supreme as well as the Earth Spirit.
So it's actually should be mentioned that Zeus has picked himself up the Aether Lens and also has a bottled Arcane Rune at the moment.
That's quite a scary combination.
Alright,
he's
so
not going to be looking for anyone there.
Let's take a look at the item progression so far. So Supreme has his Aether, the Blink. We have Robert, not really sitting at very much, but does have the Tier 2 boots. Meanwhile, Lincoln Sphere is out on Exotic Deer. We're going to have a mechanism coming out on Earth Spirit. How about the Dire here, Danny? Lee, what really stands out for you?
Dire will, obviously the BKB that's just been finished up on the Gyrocopter, being his first major item of the game. We have a Shadow Blade picked up onto the Doom as well, interestingly enough. It's going to help him when it comes to...
Chrono, bottom.
Chrono. It's just on the Wisp though, but if they can get this kill, it would be very nice. Very nice. It'll win the time dilation, and unfortunately, Rubik just gets melted. But BKB, Shadow Blade on the Doom. This is an item I said that that was going to be a little bit interesting. It does help the Doom when it comes to trying to get those Dooms off. But the moment ATN realizes,
like on Exotic Deer right now?
Can he get it solo though? Like, he needs backup. He just goes in for the Infernal Blade. Oh gosh.
I don't know, if he was fully morphed over to agility, I mean, maybe you could do it.
He was actually quite healthy. So, yeah, I don't know if he would have actually been able to solo kill Exotic Deer.
Yeah, it was actually too bad that Rubik didn't end up surviving that engagement with, oh, he's trying to go for the...
Oh, Gyro could be super careful. He's pretty low.
Yeah. Supreme does not give away the Thunder God's Wrath, luckily, and Rubik only ends up picking up the Arc Lightning. Oh, but there's a time dilation.
Oh, clutch. Well, he died pretty quickly, so... Rest in pieces, Rubik.
And that pickoff is going to be pretty good. Is this going to open it up for potentially Roshan, or are they just going to keep fighting? It looks like, oh, they might keep fighting. Crazy Kid, relocation available. No call down, though.
Got Doom with a double damage rune and hiding under the Shadow Blade. He was chased down by
Oh,
Supreme.
they want Nisha. Nisha's all by yourself.
Can I have disables for him? He's got Chrono in 14 seconds and he has a blink. There's
Then he's
no...
gone.
There's no catch mechanism for Power Rangers. I think this is also another thing to note for Power Rangers. They have no way of properly initiating the fights outside of having the Doom running in with a Shadow Blade to get a Doom off.
Yeah, it's very true.
This is when the Void becomes a huge asset to ATN, because the execution of team fights gets a little bit easier as long as he's able to get some decent chronos off. Like, look at his farm actually. Nisha's looking pretty well and healthy in the farm department.
Yeah, considering that he was sitting at like level 1 at 4 minutes into the game, he is certainly doing a lot better. Now, let's see. Here's rotation. Robert, ready to go. Thunder God's Wrath Revision. There will be the team fight up at the top. Goodbye to the Rubik. Now, everyone's coming in. Chronosphere on Crazy Kid.
Well, solo Chrono onto Wisp was fine. BKB TP out from the Gyro though. And that's a pretty high duration BKB by the Gyro just to TP out.
Yeah,
Like,
that's, once again, the diminishing returns.
Yeah, it's definitely not the way to be using a BKB if you pick it up first. Like, typically if you pick it up, you want to win those team fights because you picked up that BKB. And honestly, it really hasn't changed the flow of the game. Poor Gyro just can't do much.
Oh, they have the Sentry Ward down as well, so if Doom wants to try to go in with the Shadow Blade, they're going to see him. Call down. Exotic Deer does not care, he's just going to tank it.
Yep. Oh god, he found the Gyro! Oh,
That was so fast!
it happened very, very quickly. It was as if the Gyro just didn't exist. Oh, this is really not a game to be if you're Power Rangers. Like, ATN are looking absolutely dominating. They've got really, really early blinks on all of their major heroes. Their Morphling is looking very, very fat. You've got the supports that are rocking a lot of items too. You're like, your Earth Spirit has managed to farm a Mechanism and Arcane Boots 25 minutes in, and they're gonna get a kill onto poor, poor Crazy Kid. Oh god. This is quite a difficult game. And Clutch is being chased down by a Faceless Void.
Yeah, Faceless Void, no Chrono available, but this tier 2 definitely going to be going down. Exotic Deer continuing to peck away. Has the Aegis, has the Yasha, and very close to his Manta, which I imagine is going to be coming out fairly soon. That'll only just increase his ability to be able to deal with any potential disable that's going to be coming out of PR. And, yeah, I don't know really what you do. Like, what's the play by... Oh, there's a Doom.
And is this gonna get them the kill? Yeah. Very, very nice kill on Tanisha, making sure that he wasn't able to get anything off. The play here for Power Rangers, like, honestly, it's probably going to be to drag the game out, to get farm on the Doom and the OG and the Gyro. Considering they're running three pretty strong cores all together, they might have to bring this into a late game scenario. Yes, you're going up against a Morphling, yes, you're going up against a Faceless Void, but right now they're just not in a position to really play that hyper-aggressive style that a lot of teams like to fall back to if they are behind, like trying to go for those pickoffs. Their draft just isn't good for pickoffs without Doom. It's not like they have a hook shot from a Clockwork or a hook stomp from a Centaur with Blink. It's just their main initiation is all of their heroes. It's just not one.
Yeah, I completely agree. The other big issue is, as we see like the other items coming out, we have a BKB on the OD, and once again, as much as BKBs are good, like I'm not saying it's a bad item, but this early into the game, you're getting practically no value out of them. I mean, you just need to get something else. I feel like OD should have. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong though. Maybe we'll see.
OD. He's gonna run into 3. Did they see him? Do they see him?
There's
Robert,
a swap.
He has to insta-pop the BKB, and if he actually went for a potential instant TP after BKB, he would have lived. That's the first use of BKB used defensively, and he still died.
Yeah, see, this is my issue with the BKB on the OD. Think about, with the same amount of, actually with less value, you could pick up a Blink Dagger, and in that situation, all you do is you astral imprison yourself, and then you just try to blink into the trees, or you try to get yourself away. Much more survivable than having a BKB and just trying to walk away.
I don't blame Power Rangers trying to pick up all these BKBs. Oh, that's actually gonna
Oh
be...
no!
Oh,
Gyro goes into the chrono!
Oh my... Okay, this is not the play coming out from Power Rangers. Although the heroes are looking pretty good now. BKB has been deployed on the Gyro. He's already used the cooldown. He's got to be super careful. And it looks like Doom's going to be giving his life away at least. So Gyro stepped around! He got swapped in by Robert! It was the Vengeful Spirit with the plays! Oh my gosh. This game is just spiraling out of control for Power Rangers. There is absolutely nothing that they can do. But honestly, the only thing I was going to say is that I don't blame them for trying to pick up BKBs. They're probably hoping that they can outlast ATN if they all fight with a BKB.
Yeah.
It's just they're never together anyway. They're always caught separately. And oh god. aTTaX popped on the Earth Spirit, but Supreme's going to be there to fend off this OD with bolts of lightning. 4 T3 towers can be taken down very, very quickly. 28 minutes in, and they're already being raxed. And Exotic G is rocking a whole lot of items at this Morphling. So the Insurance Morphling for ATN is looking very strong as well.
Definitely. On top of that, the Manta Illusions are, already ripping through the ranged barracks. There was a buyback on the Gyro, but at that point, there's 18 seconds until he respawns. It's 100% not worth it to buy back at that point.
If there was a potential team fight and Power Rangers saw that they could win that, then definitely TP and buy back that gyrocopter. But, like, in that situation, there was no one there, nothing was going to happen, so why waste your time? They give away 1 Rax, which is a huge loss to Power Rangers. They can deal with the super creeps reasonably well, but they don't have the best AoE in action.
Yeah,
they honestly could stack up.
Oh? Blinks right into him.
Even relocating in the Gyro too. They came after he died. Oh, okay, they found someone else. They found the Earth Spirit. He goes for the kick though. Time Walk coming in from So Clutch, but with no disable, they can't chase him down. Morphling comes in. They've still got the invis on this Doom. He's looking for a target, but he actually gets caught out. There's detection. Is there a gem on any of these heroes? There is a gem on the Earth Spirit. That's how they saw the Doom.
So it's going to be a Faceless Void for a Doom. I think equal trades like this actually do favor Power Rangers. Just because of how farmed, like, Morphling well, everyone is, pretty much. But, yeah. I don't know, you're still rotating 5 for a Faceless Void.
It's still 5. That's probably the biggest thing. It's not like they can throw bodies and come back into this game. If they could, then at least they might have a chance and just say every kill counts, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. As long as I think that's exactly what Power Rangers need to do, though. I think you're right on the aspect. They need to be just getting pickoffs. They need to be waiting for relocates and then going in. Oh wait, we have a call down. So really, no, there's nothing really. Just kind of defensively, I guess.
So with the blink, oh Chrono, he was halfway through the animation, but they got away. It was half a second longer for the gyrocopter TP, and there would have been the Chrono from Nisha to keep him in place. Very, very close.
Definitely. So the score is currently 28-9, so not a lot of kills on PR side, but that does mean that any potential pickoff that PR can make is going to be a very high value pickoff. Now, E2, E4 has gone for the Heaven's Halberd, which I actually am a fan of. It's going to stop the right clicks coming in, hopefully, from the Morphling, as long as they can bypass that Lincoln Sphere, which would probably be good if maybe the Atos is popping that. We are going to have an Aghanim Scepter coming out fairly soon for Nisha. Let's actually just take a quick look at his farm. So less than 500 gold. Oh, where's that? Where's that going on?
Oh dear, Clutch. Trying to TP out, they spot him, they swap him! So Clutch coming out from Robert. Getting the swaps. This is the annoying thing with having a Zeus on the side of ATN. Like, all of ATN's spells just require vision. If they can see the target, obviously they're going to be able to cancel the TPs.
Oh yeah,
and Zeus
definitely.
just benefits their draft so nicely.
Alright, so still within the variants, it looks like they are going to try to catch out this.
They found the gyro! And he even pops BKB! Oh no. He's going to drop, unfortunately. Oh gosh, this is difficult to watch. And it's GG. The Power Rangers know there's no chance to come back, so they're going to try and hope that Game 2 is going to give them a bit of a better chance at coming back in the series.
Yeah, certainly.
ATN. So strong.
Alright, well, ladies and gentlemen, that was game number 1. A pretty convincing win by ATN. So we're going to go into game number 2 with my wonderful caster, Danny Lee. Danny Lee, any last words before we get some messages from our sponsors?
I hope Power Rangers is able to come back in game 2. Obviously, this game, I would say it's a bit of a humiliating loss to lose in such a manner, but ATN, like, alternate attacks definitely deserve the victory as well. They played very well as a team. They had everything under control, essentially. Like, they had a very solid plan going into this series. They knew what they were doing, and I think a lot of the plays also came down to the Earth Spirit and a lot of his early game rotations as well. Like, he was able to net the team so many kills, as well as helping them lock down targets to secure them as well. Like, he's got 18 assists and 4 kills on the Earth Spirit. It just goes to show how much contribution he's had this entire game.
Definitely. I think it was also a drafting issue coming out of PR. I don't feel like Doom was the appropriate choice. And as much as Io is a great support and he seems to be very high priority for a lot of these teams, he just didn't do anything really all that important this game. Like, even the relocates, was there really all that many high value relocate ganks? Maybe one, like the Faceless Void. But yeah, I just don't think it worked out. Well, game number 2 coming up in just a few moments, folks.